Dame Janice M. Pereira, DBE LLD, Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Honorable High Court Judges of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Honorable Levi A. Peter, Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Ms. Denise Edwards, Financial Secretary, Ms. Joanne Commodore, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security and Legal Affairs, Ms. Tamika Burton, Solicitor General, Ms. Sherma Darlimpo, Director of Public Prosecutions, Her Honor, Mrs. Candia Carrett-George, Chief Magistrate and Magistrates Present, Mrs. Michelle John Tibbles, Chief Registrar of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Ms. Marie-Therese Etienne, Registrar, and Ms. Nuraya Sebastian, Deputy Registrar of the High Court, Mr. Gregory Girard, Administrator of the Eastern Court Administrator, of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Mrs. Noelise Knight Didier, President of the Dominica Bar Association, and other members of the Executive of the Bar Association present, staff of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, the High Court of Justice, and the Magistrates Court, members of the Bar, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is an honor to extend a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for accepting our invitation to attend this launch and media briefing for another milestone event implementing the ECSC E-Litigation portal for the Magistrates Court in the Nature Isle of the Caribbean, the Commonwealth of Dominica. The ECSC E-Litigation portal, since its inception, has revolutionized how the court provides access to justice, and with this launching ceremony, the court will take another step towards improving access to justice across each of the court's 9 member states and territories. We are also delighted to have the media here with us today. The court views the media as a vital partner in helping us to share critical information with our stakeholders. We do not doubt that you will help us to spread the word of the many benefits the portal will bring to the operation of the magistracy in the member states. We have 3 esteemed speakers with us today, and our first speaker that will be bringing brief remarks is Mrs. Candia Carrett-George, an experienced legal professional with over 21 years of experience in the field. For the past 15 years, she has been committed to serving in the magistracy of the Commonwealth of Dominica, first as a magistrate and was later appointed as Chief Magistrate in November 2013. Today also, with the permission of Chief Magistrate, it's a very special day for her. She is celebrating over 21 years in the profession, and today is her 21st wedding anniversary, and we want to thank her for spending it with us. I will now invite Her Honor to bring brief remarks on behalf of the magistracy. Please make her welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Brissett. Her Ladyship, the Honorable Dame Janice M. Pereira, Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, the Honorable High Court Judge, the Honorable Attorney General, Mr. Levi Peter, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security and Legal Affairs, Ms. Joanne Commodore, Solicitor General, Ms. Tamika Burton, Ms. Sherma Darlimpo, Director of Public Prosecutions, magistrates represented here this afternoon, Mrs. Michelle John Theobald, Chief Registrar of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Ms. Marie-Therese Etienne, Registrar, and Ms. Nuraya Sebastian, Deputy Registrar of the High Court of Justice, Mr. Gregory Girard, Court Administrator of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court Headquarters, Mrs. Noelise Knight Didier, President of the Dominica Bar Association and other members of the Executive of the Dominica Bar Association, staff of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court Headquarters, staff of the High Court of Justice of Dominica, staff of the Magistrates Court, members of the Bar, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Today marks a significant milestone in the judicial landscape of Dominica as we gather here to celebrate the launch of the E-Litigation portal for the Magistrates Court. This revolutionary digital platform makes a transformative shift in the way civil, maintenance, and domestic violence matters are filed and managed within our court system. With the introduction of the online filing system, there is no longer a need to fill out physical forms. It can now be done conveniently from the comfort of your own homes or from offices, particularly in the case of lawyers. Furthermore, adhesive stamps are now a thing of the past, as payments can easily and securely be made online in these matters. This system brings with it a host of advantages and benefits, greatly enhancing the efficiency and effectiveness of our own court proceedings. Improved accountability and record keeping are among the key advantages, particularly in relation to child and maintenance matters. With this new platform, we will have a clear and accurate record of all payments and disbursements, ensuring greater transparency and fairness in matters of child support. Moreover, this system will significantly reduce the burden of storage and the management of physical records, especially in relation to civil and family matters. Gone are the days of mulling over stacks of files and paperwork. With just a few clicks, we will be able to access and retrieve pertinent information, making the entire process quicker and more streamlined. The ability to easily search the system and find all cases by case parties will be a tremendous asset, saving both time and resources for all parties involved. Another exciting feature of the E-Litigation portal is the ability to generate comprehensive reports on filed and disposed cases. We will have the ability to track pending cases and determine their age, identify delinquent defendants, and monitor the progress of each case. This level of data-driven insight will enable us to identify areas that require attention and allocate resources accordingly, ultimately improving the efficiency of our judicial system. In addition to the benefits for the court staff, this platform will also greatly enhance the experience for our valued users and legal practitioners. The public will have the ability to verify hearing dates online via a simple web browser, eliminating the need for numerous phone calls and inquiries. And I'm being told that very soon they will even be able to call to verify whether maintenance money has come in and things like that. So it will really help our staff and reduce their workload because our phone rings non-stop. The easy access to information will empower individuals and enable them to stay informed and engaged in the progress of their cases. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Honorable Dame Janice Pereira, Chief Justice, and her team from the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court for implementing and launching this new platform. Their dedication and expertise have been instrumental in bringing this vision to life. I would also like to extend special thanks to Mr. Mark Ernest, the IT Manager of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, for the invaluable training and support provided to our staff in preparation for this new platform. I would also like to extend my gratitude to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security and Legal Affairs, Ms. Joanne Commodore, for her tireless efforts in assisting us to coordinate the logistics for the past couple of weeks. Her unwavering support and guidance have been invaluable throughout this journey. Special thanks to the Registrar General, Ms. Marie-Therese Etienne, and her Deputy, Ms. Nuraya Sebastian, for assisting us in bringing matters together this week. Mention must also be made of the members of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force and staff of the Office of Disaster Management who helped us in transporting persons. Furthermore, I must recognize and commend the efforts of our acting court administrator, Mrs. Eugenia Loramore, who played a pivotal role. as she was our point person on the ground. Her commitment and leadership have been instrumental in ensuring a smooth transition to this new digital era. Lastly, I would also want to express my deepest appreciation to the staff of the Dominica Magistrates Court for their willingness to embrace change and adapt to new technologies. Their dedication and enthusiasm have been crucial in making this transition a success. In conclusion, the launch of the E-Litigation portal marks a new chapter in the history of the Dominica Magistrates Court. This digital platform will revolutionize the way we handle civil, maintenance, and domestic matters, ensuring a more efficient and effective judicial process. I encourage all users, legal practitioners, and staff to fully embrace this new system and reap the benefits it brings. Together, let us embrace this new era of digital transformation and continue to strive for justice, fairness, and excellence. Thank you, and may this new platform pave the way for a brighter future for our judicial system and the people that we serve. Thank you.
Can we give the Chief Magistrate another round of applause, please? Chief Magistrate, we appreciate your kind words and your insightful remarks. Up next, we'll have the Honorable Levi Peter, who became the Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Dominica in November 2010. The Honorable Attorney General brings with him a wealth of experience, having worked as an attorney at law at the private and public bar for over 2 decades. Prior to his current position, he served as a magistrate and was also the president of the Dominica Bar Association. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Her Ladyship, Dame Janice M. Pierre, Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court. Her Ladyship, Justice Graham, President Judge. Ms. Joanne Commodore, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security and Legal Affairs. at that summary level in the magistrate's court. So it is imperative, I believe, that we improve the efficiency in that area. And I can say that for myself, it is an area that I have significant concern about because, as you heard, I serve as a magistrate, so I have some hands-on experience with actually all aspects of the court and its functioning at that magisterial level. And obviously, as Attorney General, I have some level of insight from that perspective. But from where I stand, there needs to be some significant improvements in the functioning of magistrates court so as to deliver to the populace the level of justice that they are entitled to. And I think this innovation goes some way towards that. And I think it may be that we will have to take other steps to improve upon that, to build upon that, so that we actually have a magisterial system that delivers to the people of this country to the full extent necessary to ensure that they are confident if they bring a matter to the court, or if a matter is before the court that they have any involvement in, whether it's as a complainant, whether it's as a witness, or in whatever capacity, that they will be treated with the regard and respect that they deserve, which includes the matters being processed through the court as expeditiously and efficiently as possible. And I think that the e-portal will go a long way to doing that for all of the reasons that have been articulated by the Chief Magistrate. And I'm sure will be further elaborated upon by the Chief Justice when she addresses us in the morning. So I take the opportunity to say thank you to everybody who has attended. I think that it is a great showing that we have embarked upon this road, although I understand we have the honor of being the last of the jurisdictions to do so. But they often it is said that the last is not necessarily, I think it's the first, so it's not the last, or last is not the first, but whatever it is, we're the last. But I think what we can do is be the last to implement it, but be the one to have the most efficient system. So that's something we can all work towards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, AJ, for those remarks, and thank you for really keeping to really brief remarks, but they were potent remarks, and remarks that will send the right message. Our feature address this evening will come from one of the first female Virgin Islanders to be called to the bar of the Virgin Islands, the first Virgin Islander to be appointed to the bench of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, and the first female to be appointed to the Court of Appeal, the first female Chief Justice, and the longest serving Chief Justice. Please help me welcome Her Ladyship, the Honorable Dean Janice Burrow.
Thank you, Mr. Brissett, for that introduction. Honorable Attorney General, Chief Magistrate Candia Kareth George, Honorable Justice Josiah Graham, who is with us this afternoon, Honorable Magistrates of the Courts of Dominica, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice, or I call it Justice, Legal Affairs, and otherwise allow me to adopt a protocol. Of course, I recognize the Chief Registrar or team from the headquarters of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, and of course the Registrar of the court here in Dominica, and Deputy Registrar and host staff. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. I thought we could do better than that. It is always a pleasure when we are able to complete another milestone in the services that the court seeks to bring to the people of our region. So today, we are happy to see that we are here. It shows and demonstrates your interest in the work of the court. And we are here with our media partners, the persons who can assist us in spreading information, in being able to explain the work and services of the court to the people who we serve. So I thank you all for being here. The court started out on a journey to digitize the processes of the court in a sense that was more than what we had in the early 2010s and before. And we started on this journey more than 5 years ago. So yes, we had the GEMS system and we still have the GEMS system, but we needed something which could better link all of the courts across the 9 states and territories together. We needed a system where the public could file, serve, receive documents at any time from wherever they were within our ECSC region and indeed beyond. And so the court embarked on the project of implementing an electronic portal, usually called the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court E-Litigation portal. And it took quite a bit of work, but I think it was worth it in the end, because we have managed over the past 5 years and more to have linked every single court within the OECS in our region, along with the headquarters of the court in St. Lucia, together. We are able to see what documents have been filed, to search those documents, lawyers, practitioners alike, and we are able to analyze those documents and basically bring a complete new and greater level of efficiency to the courts. And so we always had a vision at the court's headquarters that not only must the Supreme Court, the High Court, and the Court of Appeal be linked, but also the magistracy. And so we conducted this phased process where we went from state to state to state, first in relation to the High Courts, and then once we had concluded that, we then began the process with regard to the magistracy. So we have conducted so far 8 of the 9 states and territories. And I think the Honorable Attorney General said that Dominica, the Commonwealth, happens to be the last. But that does not mean that it is any less of importance in terms of ensuring that this process comes to the magistracy in the Commonwealth of Dominica. And as he said, doesn't mean that it may not be the most efficient. And that's the key. Or as they say, last may be first, first may be last. But it matters not. What is important is that now, with the implementation of the e-portal, practitioners, litigants, parties alike can file documents at the magistracy in the same way that they conduct filings in the High Court and the Court of Appeal. I remembered when Hurricane Maria struck the Commonwealth of Dominica and its people, and all that it brought in terms of loss, not only to residents, but basically to the services and the fact that at that time we did not have the implementation. And those losses are still being felt up to today in terms of matters in the system and how long it takes to basically retrieve and ensure that the court has the records to deal with many of the matters which are still before the court. And I remember thinking how it may have been so much better if we had been able then to have the e-litigation portal. But better late than never. We are all small islands. We are subject to natural disasters. We cannot say that there will not be power outages or even internet outages. But these are basics now in terms of infrastructure. And once that infrastructure is working, then your system will be working. And so, as the Chief Magistrate said, this is a new day for the magistracy, and we have placed particular focus on the Service Bureau. You may ask why that is. The court is aware that the magistracy deals with the bulk of matters which come before the court at any time. The magistracy is in many respects the face of the justice system and the bulk of work that they carry. And so we have always maintained that even though the magistracy is not integrated into the higher judiciary or the wider judiciary as it should be, and we hope it will happen, we consider that the magistrates do the same task. They are tasked with delivering and administering justice. And so there should be no different treatment of the magistracy. And we hold true to that and ensuring that what the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court can do to ensure that the magistracy can perform at a level in terms of its efficiencies and its effectiveness in service to the people of our region, then the Supreme Court is committed to doing precisely that. Chief Magistrate has already said to you and have outlined all the benefits of this system. But I just want to really focus on a few, and I would endorse all that she has indicated, because all that she has said in terms of working with it, you will see that it comes and it can be used in the way that is intended. But we know in our systems, we've had occasions of lost documents or destroyed documents for one reason or another. This will ensure that a document is not misplaced, because the system does not allow you to lose a document. So when it is filed, it is there. It can be retrieved with ease. It cannot be manipulated by a party in terms of a filing date, or whether it was or it was not filed. You don't have to take a trip from a far distance to be able to access the court services, because you can do it from the comfort of your offices, your home, wherever you are. You will be able to access the services of the court. In relation to, as I said, the Service Bureau, we know that a large number of matters come before the magistracy, and they are unrepresented litigants. And so in the magistracy, we have focused, and I insisted that the IT team focus on ensuring that those persons in the magistracy who will be serving the public, they are well trained to understand the system, and importantly, to assist litigants coming into the court office in the filing of their documents and to ensure that system is up and running. Our team also ensures that if there is an issue which arises, that they're available to provide support on a day-to-day basis. She spoke about stamping. Well, the stamping is done electronically, so no need to have to make a trip to the post office to purchase stamps, then to paste the stamps, and then to file your documents. So it saves you time. Time translates into value, which can be calculated in money terms. And so it saves a lot of costs. Sometimes we really don't think about money in terms of time. But I think if one was speaking to an accountant or an economist, they will tell you time is money and value is money. When the court puts these systems in place, it's with a view to increasing the court's efficiency. It's with a view to ensuring that you, the public, have greater access to the courts. Courts are about people. Courts are there to serve you, the public. And that is the message that we wish to bring home. So I'm happy to see all of you. I'm happy for the media to really take that message. Learn more about your courts. Learn more about how you can access your courts from wherever you are, and take advantage of the services in relation to your matter. I want to extend gratitude to the registrar in Dominica and her staff in terms of the assistance that they have given. And of course, I would like to place on record the court's appreciation for the support of the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica. The courts, as you know, cannot exist as an institution without the support of those co-equal arms that make up the government of our states within the OECS. And so it is always where we must work together to ensure that when we are serving our people, that we are serving them in relation to those institutions which make up our democratic states. They are our institutions, and we should never forget that. I would like to place on record also my thanks and appreciation to our IT team from the court's headquarters who are here with us, Mr. Ernest, who leads the team, also Mr. Gerard, the court administrator, the chief registrar, who has always assisted us throughout our implementation sessions throughout the years, as well as other parts of the IT team. I think I saw Mr. Anderson and I think Mrs. Ramjuan here with us as well. And I would like also to thank Ms. Commodore, who is the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Legal Affairs, for her assistance, because we cannot take these initiatives and we cannot really complete them without the support and those administrative interarrangements between the court and the state. And I thank you for that support as well. Anyone else who I have not deliberately mentioned, I would like to also place on record our thanks to you. So we've already started. The launch date has come about. I don't know whether we've had any filings as yet, but we are ready to do business in relation to civil matters before the court, family, and I think, domestic violence, and hopefully, shortly, we should be implementing the criminal module. And once we have done that, we will have completed all of our, what we call our sub-modules of our system. So we are working on that aspect assiduously, and we are engaging with our directors of public prosecutions in the various states to ensure that when that module is rolled out, that it reflects us and the way that we conduct criminal prosecutions and matters in our courts across the OECS in relation to filings and in terms of those reports that we must ensure that we have at the end of the day. I thank all of you for being here in attendance this afternoon, and I thank you for listening to me.
We want to say a big thank you to the Honorable Chief Justice, and we'll just give her another round of applause. We have now come to the end of part A of our media briefing, and we'll be moving into part B, wherein our technical team will be joining us at the head table, and the media, members of the media will be given an opportunity to ask members of our technical team any questions you'd like or any clarification on how the e-litigation portal will benefit the magistracy Dominica. After the media has asked their question, if members of the audience would like to make a comment or ask a question, we'll take those as well, depending on time. So now I'll just escort the Chief Justice and the team to their new seats. So we're now open for questions.
Yes, the system has the ability to generate the causes, but I need to add, especially for court staff, that it's a work in progress as it is now. I know quite a few of us that will be with the GEMS course next week. Let's look at a staple in all the courts will be our member states. So this evening I need to add that GEMS has some features that we in fact try to emulate in that. So it's a work in progress when it is.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Anderson.
Just because I think I'm part of the team, so I can extend on that response. In that the purpose of the cause is, I think practitioners and the case parties use it in terms of seeing that information as to who's supposed to be informed when and what dates and so on, the legal practitioner, the case parties, nature of the matter. And with the whole system, GEMS, this was an internal process where when a matter was scheduled, perhaps we would have had that date written on a notice that went out. But now, if a legal practitioner is on the matter, and the matter is scheduled by the court, you automatically get notification that your matter is scheduled. So you get that by email and by notification in the portal. Additionally, the portal has a calendar. So you can go into the portal with a calendar feature, and you can look at the period, and if you represent this party and a hearing has been scheduled in the portal, you will see a notification that you have a hearing at a particular court location. So the portal extends on the court list, so you don't necessarily have to wait until you get the court list, because as soon as the matter is scheduled, you know.
That's all parties in the case, including the clerks, the judges, the magistrates.
Any more questions? Next.
Good afternoon. I would just like the team to explain in layman's language for some of the people that I deal with who have no phone, no data, and sometimes no audio phone, that when they come to file, what service will, how will we assist them? I didn't hear that quite clearly, because we had litigants and, so I want it done so that they can understand that there's no need to fear. So I would like you to explain it to them. How we are going to assist them. Because not everybody is online.
So, with the portal, the services that have been now provided, services that are now being provided now will continue as is with the portal. So, those legal in person can choose to continue coming to the court and pose the question, when is my next court date? And the clerk or the person at the service bureau can easily look up and indicate.
I'm talking about filing.
Oh, filing.
The filing process. When they, right now, the customer coming to bring in their paper and the stamps.
Yeah.
Right? But we have got filing online. So I want you to explain in layman's language what will be happening now.
In terms of filing.
Yes.
Okay. Chief Justice made mention that the service bureau is in fact the heart of the implementation of the portal. In the sense that when a litigant person comes to the court with whatever documents that they're supposed to complete, that document is given to the clerk at the service bureau. The clerk would then, of course, go through the process, scan whatever document, indicate what fees to be paid. The litigant person would pay the fees at the cashier, then come back to that clerk. The clerk would assist in filing that document. And when that filing process is complete, then they would give the clerk a copy of the filed document with the stamp showing. So the process is almost the same, just that what's output is more electronic in a sense. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. I just want them to be assured that they will be given assistance.
Oh yes, assistance continues.
what I would like to add, if I may, regards to the self-represented litigants. I know not all of them may have electronic devices, but some of them do have. And they can actually access the portal to find out the next, not the portal, they can go onto the site and find out the next area date without having to call or visit the court. So you just have to have your case number and you tell them your next area date is on the 28th of July at 9 a.m. or whatever the time is. So they also have that additional ability, but I know it doesn't help precisely your question because you were...
No, that helps.
Okay.
How private is the court? If I file and she file, can she see my case, or how private it is, or the depth of how can somebody see it online?
Now, you say, can she and then you, are you all looking in the court or are you...
No, I mean maybe outside, like the house.
So, persons outside the court, I mean, self-represented litigants at the moment don't have access into the portal. The information can be provided to them by electronic means if they get an address that they want it sent to for service or whatever means that they choose, like email or whichever manner. The lawyers, however, have access to their cases. They can file it to the portal. They have an account and they can file it to the portal. And they will be familiar from the High Court. The process is that they can access any case file which they represent the client. But if lawyer A representing client A, client X, and lawyer B representing client Y, they can see the case. But if a lawyer C is on the portal, they cannot access either of those cases. So it's only available to those lawyers who are in the matter and not any lawyer in the country. And there are additional features in terms of sealing of cases, sealing of documents, so that if there's a sensitive case in the magistrate's court where there is information that we don't want any and everyone to be able to read, even within the court, it can be sealed, and only persons with certain access rights will be able to see and read those documents. So that's quite a few security features in that regard.
And just to add to what Mr. Gerard said, when a case is created, it gets an authorization code, and that code is what really allows you to enter the case to see anything. So imagine it's your bank card. You have a PIN to your bank card when you go to the bank. You need the PIN to be able to access your account. So the authorization code is similar to that. If you don't have the code, you're not able to access the case file. And you're only given the code if you're parties in the matter and you file the document, then you will get it or your lawyer will get the code. So simply put, that is the overlying security net on there.
I noticed the media is posing a question pertaining to security. I know the public must be concerned about the whole idea of how secure are the cases on the portal. So just to note that the portal is being hosted on Amazon Web Services, which carries with it several levels of security, not just the whole idea of the data being kept on several sites. So if one site is down, automatically we have access to the data. But the whole concept that they are what we call ISO certified, they subscribe to an international standard of security. Also, that standard of security is also added to by our software developers, and Scripts and Logic. So those types of securities also in place. The platform for the software, would want the public to know, is built on what we call SSL protocol. secure layer, well, secure socket layer. Essentially what that means is that data from one using the browser, accessing data on the server, is private, meaning no one can actually interfere with the data and see what data is being moved between one using the browser, that's a lawyer or a staff member. So those types of security, along with general sort of data security and also information security. So those of you who access the portal will see that the way we access the portal is by HTTPS, S for security. So there's that level of security involved. So I thought I should have.
And on the issue of security, I just wanted to add that you got that question sometime ago. Someone was asking, can someone hack into or phish into the system? And the answer is no, simply because the portal sends out information to persons. You don't send information into it like an email or text or anything. You only receive the information. And if you communicate by email, it will be somebody in the court office who will receive the email, not coming into the portal where they can put a Trojan or something to get into your system and do other things. So it's secure in that sense as well. No other questions, I would just like to make a couple of comments. Oh, there's one for sorry. Yeah.
Challenges that you all have faced thus far, and any mitigating measures taken to address those challenges in other territories?
How should I start? I would say there's nothing in life that comes without challenges, and there are always hurdles you have to overcome. I don't think in the 5 years or so that we've been using the system, starting about 2018, I don't think we've encountered a challenge that we haven't been able to overcome from the point of view of the use of the portal. All the member states have different legislation, different processes, different procedures. So it's not a one size that fits all. As we go into each jurisdiction, we try to understand what is being done and we try to tailor the system to that. We also have opportunities to do some business process re-engineering. So we look at what the processes are and say, well, okay, we've seen it done that way in other countries. Is there a specific reason why you're doing it in that way in this country? And we have an opportunity to recommend changes in that regard. So it gives us those opportunities, but I must say that they have not been challenges. Has the internet been down? I think the worst case we had was in Anguilla, where I think a ship damaged the line with got internet to the country. And I think the internet was down for maybe a day or two. So that impacted them, but it didn't stop things from happening. The beautiful thing in the system is that if you are able to communicate at all, then you can even contact somebody else who may be able to assist you somewhere else, or if you can tether from your phone, if you happen to have data on your phone or something like that, depending on what the thing is, then you can actually access the portal and work in that manner. So, as I said, nothing is without challenges, but I don't think there's any challenge that, oh, I'm going to stop this, there's nothing we can do. We even had situations where, self-represented litigants, it may not be entirely applicable in the magistrate's court, but certainly in the high court. They want to file documents where they live in another country, they live in the UK, the US, or somewhere else. They want to file a document. Well, we can get the document electronically, but there is payments for those documents we file. So we facilitated that where they can actually make the payment. Maybe have nobody locally who can do it. So anybody, anywhere in the world who has the ability to send a document and maybe have a credit card or do a wire transfer and make a payment, and the documents can be filed. So again, that wasn't done in the first days, but as those issues arose, we found a solution for it and we were able to facilitate persons in knowing that issue. Any other questions?
My next question is on training staff to use the portal to assist the general public in that regard. Will additional staff be hired to assist the court staff in that process? And also,
if things improve, efficiency improves so much, would you want to see staff go? And supposing things improve so much, and I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying we have to look to see what the requirements are. Because we know at the present time, most court offices are understaffed and overworked in every jurisdiction, and we have to see where the needs arise, because the system will bring about some level of efficiency. And going to look for a file and spending hours going in a vault and trying to find the file, that will be more. Looking for a lost document because it's not on the file, hours doing that, that will be more. So there's some efficiencies it will bring. Lawyers, in the case where lawyers are involved, lawyers will be able to, in most cases, file from their offices. They don't come into the court office. So there are a lot of things that it will improve, but again, like anything else, depending on the operations and the number of staff, we will have to see what is required, and this will have to be at the national level in any of the member states for additional staff and what is required. And of course, at that stage, training can be arranged, whether it is by a local person who is working for one of our power users or expert users, or by video, or other means if possible.
There's also a certain aspect of change, what we call change management. So when you would have had a filing clerk who would have had to attend to the public when they come in, since you may not have that many persons coming in, then you may have other duties that that person could now do. Case managers. So it's really about re-engineering, if you want to call it, the roles in the court office, and trying to see how much more efficient that we can make the persons that we have be. And then you have to look at the entire system to see if we would need more persons.
And just to add, we realized during the introduction of the portal in several member states, many persons asked whether they should continue writing on this or doing this or that. And our answer to them is that you don't have to. Certainly it will involve more work because you're doing duplicating your work. But we want you to operate at a comfort level. And when you feel, okay, but it must be the portal for sure. When you feel there's no need to write up what you normally put on the portal, comfortably enough, then of course you have to give up that responsibility.
Mr. Gerard, your comments? We don't have any more questions. We have question? Question? We have two.
Because under the JET system, usually, so if the public has lawyers, the lawyers would usually be the ones who send in the summons, re-summons for matter. And then those reform lawyers will usually write up the summons for them to be served. So according to the type of matter for which the bail start serving, or if the police are the ones collecting the summons to answer the matter. So, seeing that you're going on the new system, wouldn't people have to come to the office to actually get their dates, or?
If I understand the question properly, I think this relates to summonses and providing dates for hearings, which at present, if a lawyer is doing it, they still have to come to the court with the summons to get a date ID. Is that how it's done? If a lawyer is representing a party and there's a summons to be issued and served on someone, the lawyers would arrange for service, but how would they get the data? They have to contact the court office, right? Right. So that will not change. But once a lawyer has the deeds and it's put on the summons form to serve on the person, and then it's handed and it will upload it on the system. Where the court office does it, if the person comes and they're not represented, the court office will do it. But again, you will not go to a case file and open the jacket and put the document when it's finished. You just scan it and put it on the system. Because the official record, so to speak, the new matters, as of yesterday, is the electronic case file. So keeping a manual jacket with documents in it, it's redundant, unnecessary, and duplication of effort, if I would call it that. Waste of money because you're using resources. So you wouldn't have to keep that file. Once you do it, you scan it, you upload it, and it will be on the system. But provisional dates, yes, you would have to come in and find a way to release the court office to get the date. Unfortunately, there's a process where the magistrate sometimes has to stamp and sign the document. That will have to be done. And we'll describe that process to you, or you actually have to do that in most of the cases.
Just to add, I think we've defined the guidelines for this, right, Cynthia? We finalized the guidelines for that process, and I think it's been circulated to staff.
Mr. Anderson?
Good day. What I wanted to ask was, are there any plans on transferring ongoing matters from the old system into the new system? Or is everything just brand new?
Everybody answer those difficult questions. Okay, so Chief Justice has sort of published what we call a practice direction sheet that guides the whole concept of what we call migration. As it is now, there's no electronic migration of our GEMS data onto the portal. They're totally different structure and format. So the guidelines speaks to the whole idea of either the court taking the decision in the case of magistrate's court, of course through the magistrate, informing the parties involved, of the court, all the parties would scan the data, scan the existing files, and upload this onto the portal, henceforth all the files will be done electronically. So this is a process that the court can initiate as it is now, and some courts have started that process as well. That answers your question?
Thank you, sir.
No other direct questions. The comment that has come up in different member states, actually, to reference it here, I think it's an important one, is about the demonstration of the success of the portal in different member states. And what we have indicated is that during the pandemic, which was an unexpected event, the court was able to function, and probably had it not been for the portal, it would have been a lot more difficult and in some cases really even impossible. And I think in particular, our Court of Appeal, which is itinerant travel from member state to member state, they were able to function throughout the entire period of the pandemic. But for one sitting in the month of March 2020, at the immediate onset of the pandemic, that was not because of anything other than, I think there were some adjustments to be made and they were able to be prepared for it in March 2020. But thereafter, the court had not missed one sitting, and of course, all the documents were either available on the portal for those countries already on, or lawyers were able to scan through practice directions and their guidance, they were able to scan and upload documents which could be used by the court. So I think that for me is a very important proof of success that we We haven't had any major disasters that go on over the years, so we can't say it's a natural disaster. But I think even in the event of that, I think we show that the system is resilient and will be able to go through even those natural disasters.
Congratulations on behalf of the Dominica Bar Association. I think all of us wish to express congratulations to the Chief Justice, the staff of the Supreme Court, the staff of the Ministry of National Security and Legal Affairs, actually, Chief Magistrate and her staff. Congratulations to all of you. I think this is really timely. We're happy to have it. I can speak from experience in using the e-portal already in the High Court that this is, I mean, it's super. It's great, we will not regret it. I mean, just the ability to be able to stay wherever you are and file and get things done, get your notices, it is really, really super. I want to just express to the magistrates court staff, you know, that you will get used to it, you'll get there, you'll have your teething problems, of course, we all did. But one thing, when there are teething problems, this staff, the technical staff at the court, they are there. They don't waste time, they respond to your problems right away. I mean, that has been our experience, and it's really commendable, you know, and so I think you'll be all right. And I think the rest of us will be all right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I really just want to thank Council for that, and just to say that we are here to serve, and we are so happy to do that because we believe in the system, not just because it's our system, but we have tried and proved that it works, and it has enhanced our efficiency. So our ability to be able to respond to queries is also really part of the system. And we want to encourage you to please don't, it might be a little daunting at first. I know maybe in the training you're like, oh my goodness, this is so much to remember. But the more that you use it, you'll remember, those of you who were there back in the day of the onset of GEMS, you were probably thinking, oh my goodness, what is this new system that's here? But you have gotten so used to it, some persons don't even want to part with GEMS. But this is like so much better, and it has really revolutionized the way the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court has been able to serve the citizens of the OECS. And we want to encourage you and to remind you that we are here. Anything that you need, we're just an email or phone call.
We'll now invite Mrs. Laurie Moore to do the official vote of thanks. Please make her welcome.
Her Ladyship, Honorable Dame Janice M. Pereira, DBE, LLD, Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Judges of the High Court, Honorable Levi Peter, Attorney General, Honorable Candia Carey George, Chief Magistrate, Mrs. Michelle John Thurwes, Chief Registrar, Mr. Gregory Gerard, Court Administrator, Mr. Mark Ernest, IT Manager, Mr. Dwayne Brissett, Information Service Manager of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Ms. Joanne Commodore, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security and Legal Affairs, other members of the legal fraternity, other distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I stand before you with much humility and feel honored and privileged to give the vote of thanks at this, the final launch of the E-Litigation portal for civil proceedings, including family matters, for the magistrates' court here in the Commonwealth of Dominica. While the world is rapidly embracing technology, it is very clear that the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court ensures that the staff of the High Courts and the Magistrates' Court in its 9 member states are indeed properly trained to provide prompt and efficient service to the public. I therefore wish to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Brissett for leading us in prayer and opening remarks. To Her Honor, Mrs. Kanda Kari George, Chief Magistrate, I say thank you for your brief remarks to us today and for encouraging the staff to attend the training sessions in order to continue the efficient service at the office. To the Honorable Mr. Levi Peter, Attorney General, I say thanks much for your brief remarks to us. Sincere thanks to Her Ladyship, the Honorable Dame Janice M. Pereira, DBE, LLD, Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, for gracing us with her presence and for delivering the feature remarks. To the Minister of National Security and Legal Affairs, Honorable Rayburn Blackmore, and the Permanent Secretary, Ms. Joanne Commodore, I say thanks to you for ensuring that things were put in place for the training to take place. Special mention must be made to Mr. Gregory Gerard and his team, Mr. Mark Ernest, Mr. Anderson Henry, and Ms. Tinifia Ramjoan, who have been on island for the past 2 weeks, training and ensuring that staff fully understood the functions of the portal. I say thank you, thank you, thank you. Words cannot express how grateful we are, because while the process might seem easy and simple, it entails a lot of procedures and details, and you all had the patience and fortitude to pass on the knowledge with ease. To all of you amazing people, the Bar Association, the Legal Aid Clinic, and all the staff at the Magistrates' Court, I sincerely thank you for your continued support. To the media and other stakeholders present, thank you for your attendance and participation here today. And finally, I wish to say a very big thank you to Ms. Dawn Sins and her team for providing us with such healthy and enjoyable snacks and lunch during our 3-day training sessions and also for our function here today. Success to the E-Litigation portal for civil proceedings, including family matters for the Magistrates' Court here in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Lorimer, and I would like you all to give her another round of applause. She was my point person on the ground, and I can tell you it was non-stop. When office closed at 5, we were WhatsApping to make sure that things were in place and all the logistics were on. So I want to thank Mrs. Lorimer for moving the vote of thanks and everyone who worked tirelessly in the background to make today's event a success. We say a big thank you to you all. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us for this milestone event. I wish you all a safe journey home or back to your offices. I now bring the formal proceedings of this event to a close, and the Commonwealth of Dominica, with the kind support of the Ministry of National Security and Legal Affairs, have provided refreshments for us, and you may take part in them at the back. However, I have one housekeeping duty. I would like the following persons to remain behind.